Once upon a time, in a land not so far away. George was at his last rehearsal for his very first community play. In the play, George was a castle guard. He really wished he were a knight, like Steve and Betsy. Knights got to ride horses and had cool helmets. Plus, knights were really brave. But the man said,
"There are no small roles. There are only small monkey actors."
So George kept practicing to make sure he said his line right.
"Sire, 2 riders approacheth."
Guard!
At last, George's big moment was here.
Oh no! Sharkie! She'll wreck the stage! Guard the castle!
It was just like in the play. But Sharkie did not halt. Sharkie kept right on going.
Well, at least the castle's in one piece.
Medieval castles had dragons. We have Sharkie.
Well, we'd better get busy rebuilding the set and the props.
We'll get the flag back.
You guard the stage, George, in case Sharkie comes back.
George felt awful. It was his job to guard the castle, and he'd messed it up. What if Sharkie came back during the play tonight? He needed some way to keep Sharkie off the stage for good. But it's hard to think if you've stayed awake all night practicing your one line, especially if your costume was hot and the stage lights were hotter.
What ho! That means, hey, what's up? A dragon is on the loose. Don't want it getting into the castle again.
The dragon! It followed us to the castle!
Good guard George had to stop the dragon. It would prove his bravery, and the king might make him a knight. Nothing is worse than dragon breath. Except maybe dragon slobber.
My banquet! Stop her! Wizard, can you no stop the beast?
Alas and alack, my magic hath met its match.
Hey, look out!
Oh no!
The king would never make good guard George a knight now.
How can we have our celebration with that beast destroying the castle?
And then the little guard remembered. Dragons were sore afraid of baths. George loved to watch his friend Bill deliver papers. when it came to newspaper delivery,
Bullseye!
Bill never missed a target. And Bill never, ever missed a delivery day.
364 days of perfect delivery. You know what that means, George? If I deliver all my papers on time tomorrow, I'll win the golden pouch. Yep, the golden pouch is only given to the best of the best, George. And I aim to be the bestest. One more perfect day, and that bag is mine.
But the next day was not perfect. It was lousy. George wondered how Bill would ride his bike in all that snow. Not very well, it turned out.
Can you believe this, George? Biggest day of my career, and I can't even get out of my driveway. Last time it snowed this bad, Pugnose O'Reilly crashed on the Lake Street curve, sprained his elbow, and I had to retire. That's how I got his route! It's no use. So long, golden pouch. That's the spirit, George. Did Freckles McFadden, the all-time winningest golden pouch winner, quit during the snowstorm of '79? No, he did not. If Freckles didn't quit, neither will I. Now push me, city boy, push me! Thanks, George!
But the trouble with biking in the snow is, if you manage to get going, you often can't stop.
I can't even make my first delivery. How am I going to finish my whole route in time?
Hey! If you're not delivering papers, want to pull me around in the snow?
Bikes did not work well in snow. But that thing did.
Ooh-hoo-hoo.
I've never used a toboggan before, but so far it's great. Thanks for thinking of it, George. Of course, once we get to the flats, we'll have to pull it. But we'll make such good time on the way down, it won't matter. Good morning.
Thanks, boys.
Hang on. Gotta steer around this curve. How do you steer?
Hey, you boys all right? I don't know much about toboggans. I'm not much on snow sports. I guess I spend too much time playing with my trains. Ooh! Maybe there's something else you could use in here instead.
George!
Then George realized you can steer by leaning.
George, you're a genius. Why didn't I think to lean? That's how we can steer the toboggan.
It had been a very sneezy winter. First, George had been sick, and now it was the man with the yellow hat's turn. George hoped his special, cold-fighting little bit of everything soup would make him feel better.
I'm sure it's delicious, George, but I can't taste anything.
Ooh.
George, I wouldn't do that if I were you. That spoon was just in my mouth. It probably has cold germs on it. See, germs are too tiny to see, but they're inside me. And cold germs are what made you sick when they got inside you.
Ew.
Yep, so be sure to wash your hands.
George wished there was some way he could help the man get better. But all that cooking had made him one sleepy little monkey. George had just fallen asleep when he heard a strange sound. George remembered the last time he and Gnocchi had flown around in a spaceship. He had become very small and had flown all around his own body. Being small again might help George find those germs that were inside the man with the yellow hat. If George could kick them out, the man might get better. What a big mouth. George wanted to explore, but there was no time. He had germs to find. They headed for the stomach. But when they got into the man's stomach, they found out they weren't alone. George knew that germ. It was Toots. He and his friends had made George sick before. Now they were playing a concert in the man's stomach.
Well, I'm a rambling germ, always out on the go. I'll bring you down and head off to another show. Well, I've been lots of places, floating free as a wheeze, riding on your silverware or flying on sneeze. 'Cause I'm a rambling germ.
Ramble, ramble, ramble.
Well, I'm a rambling germ. I said a rambling germ.
Ramble, ramble, ramble.
I'm coming to your town. I played at many people all across this great big land, especially in the folks who don't wash their hands, because soap makes me wiggle and soap makes me sneer. Germette?
One sign of soap and Toots is out of here.
'Cause I'm a rambling germ.
Ramble, ramble, ramble.
I'm a rambling germ.
Ramble, ramble, ramble.
I said a rambling germ.
Ramble, ramble, ramble.
I'm coming to your town. Look out! I'm coming to your town. That's right. Welcome, Germ, to the... Hey, you're no Germ. You're that meddling monkey. Quick, run for it. You'll never catch us this time. Never. Watch out for the mucus. The germ could get stuck in that stuff.
It was a beautiful day on Lake Wanasink Lake. Fishermen were fishing, herpetologists were herpetologing, and monkeys were monkeying.
It's a boomerang. You throw it and it comes back to you. Well, it's supposed to come back.
Ooh. Huh? A ping pong ball.
No, it's an egg.
Where'd it come from?
A bird's nest, of course. Maybe it rolled here. Poor little fella.
How do you know it's a boy egg? I think it's a girl egg. And I'm gonna name her Tiffany.
Still, it's a bad spot for an egg. Eggs are great for some things. The shell lets in air and moisture and keeps out dirt. That's good. But 'cause they're so thin, they let in cold and heat, too. That's bad. That's why birds sit on them, so the egg is always the right temperature. An egg without a nest might not hatch.
George had to get the egg back to its nest before it was too late.
Wait! Eggs can break. Like that. Plus, you shouldn't slosh them around.
We have to find her mommy so she can come and sit on Tiffany.
Good idea! My paper out! Oh, I'll come help as soon as I'm done.
It's up to us, George. How about I stay here and protect Tiffany while you find the mommy? I know! Ask Grandpa. He knows all about eggs. Halt!
Yeah.
Found an egg, huh? That's one big egg. Might be an eagle egg.
Huh?
That's the only bird around here with an egg that size. There's an eagle nesting in the pine grove down by the lake. That's...
We just want to have a picnic.
Sorry. No trespassing past this. Did you find the mommy, George? Well, hurry! The egg might get too hot.
You found an egg?
Can we see it?
Now, shells are thin. You might wake Tiffany from a nap.
Yeah.
Want some watermelon?
Allie was right. It was getting hot. George had to hurry.
Well, they gotta be here somewhere. They couldn't just walk away. Well, they could. I just hope they didn't, because that would be a disaster.
Eagles sure did have big nests. And really big eggs to go in them. His egg wasn't nearly so big. How could Mr. Rankins ever have thought his egg was an eagle's egg? He'd drawn his egg way too big.
The N Avenue Animal Shelter scavenger hunt is about to begin.
Boys, I tell you, Team Piscetti is going to do very, very well today. Maybe we won't win, but we're gonna raise a lot of money for a good cause.
Who says we won't win?
Well, we're pretty good, but we're never going to beat my cousin.
You have a cousin, Chef Piscetti?
Oh, that's right. Cousin Linguini. He's the greatest, even when we were little. I thought I knew all about making the mud pies. Until I saw Cousin Linguini's. I'll never be as clever as he is. There he is! Come on, come!
Hey, Cousin Piscetti, nice to see you. You look great. How you doing?
Well, good. But I'm afraid we're going to lose to you.
Come on, where's your confidence? And with a team like this, how can you not win?
Scavengers, are you ready?
Here we go. See you at the end of the race, winner.
You're each being handed a list of shapes. Some are easy, some are hard and worth more points. Whoever has the most points at the end wins the golden rectangle. You have 1 hour. Ready? On your mark. Get set. Hunt!
Oh, I'm too nervous. You read.
100 diamonds.
Oh, better stick to easy ones up here. They're more our speed, and we can get more done in the hour.
4 white rectangles. It's worth 4 points, but you have to have all 4.
Well, you heard. Follow him. Maybe I am clever.
Well, hi, George.
Oh, yeah!
All right!
Yeah!
Yes! Okay, now 3 stars. Let's go! Look! Yes!
4 black circles.
5 squares. So that's 16 points.
37 minutes left. What else, Marco?
We can get 8 points if we find a large octagon.
Octagon, eh? Something with the 8 sides.
Stop signs were octagons.
Wow, what is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8! Octagon!
8 more points! Good work, Giorgio! Oh boy! What's left?
12 egg-shaped things.
Oh my. Oh, what is shaped like an egg? Biscotti nose! Eggs! They're perfectly egg-shaped!
How is it going?
36 points! Now, Nettie, I don't want to jinx her, but I think maybe we're gonna win this one.
Then I'll cook your pizza, so you can celebrate.
12 points for a blue ring.
Let's go!
A good super spy is always in demand. And 00 Monkey was no exception. Betsy had asked 00 Monkey to keep an eye on Steve.
He disappears every day and won't tell me where he's going. And Steve never keeps secrets, so this one must be big. I tried following him myself, but he always catches me. Guess I'm not as good a super spy as you.
Betsy was worried that Steve was making her another good luck gift for her dance recital. At the last recital, Steve baked Betsy a cake. The time before that, he brought flowers. Steve's good luck gifts had a way of going bad. Betsy wanted 00 Monkey to follow Steve and blow the lid off his potentially messy plot. Because whatever Steve was cooking up, she wanted to be prepared. Betsy said when she'd followed Steve, he'd gone through the park. 00 Monkey was on his tail.
George, what are you doing here? Well, cool. Gotta run.
George wanted to keep Steve in his sights. But if George could see Steve, Steve might see George again. And then he remembered. When 00 Doggy needed to follow someone without being seen, he used a tracking device that made a sound only he could hear. George didn't have anything only monkeys could hear. But he did have a tracking device that didn't look like a tracking device.
A keyring for my favorite soccer team, the Metropolis Ringers? This is so cool! Thanks, George! Listen to that team spirit!
Now, 00 Monkey had 2 ways to stay on the trail. Sight and sound. But cities are noisy places. 00 Monkey couldn't hear or see Steve anywhere. Luckily, Super Spies used more than 2 senses. He'd use his nose. But there were a lot of sniffs to sniff. Opening day of the museum's aviation show. And if there's one thing monkeys, dogs, and men with yellow hats are amazed by, it's flying machines.
George? Oh, boy. Yeah, that's a propeller. Propellers move a plane by pulling air in through the front of the propellers and blowing air out the back. No, George, that's not how you use it.
Meanwhile, Hundley was enjoying a Hundley-sized air show.
My great-grandfather flew a balloon from Florence to Paris.
Aviators from every country went to Paris to race flying machines, like all of these.
Oh, it would have been great to see that.
See it? Hundley wished he could have flown in it. Flying looked almost as exciting as being a lobby dog.
Nice souvenir. Have fun?
It sure is hot in here.
The air conditioner stopped. Now that Hunley's back, I can leave my post to fix it. Mind helping out?
No problem. George, you want to stay here and help Hunley watch the lobby?
That fan made a strong wind. George wanted to see how fast the plane would fly using rubber band power plus the wind from the fan. But all Hunley wanted was to do his job and enjoy his balloon. His balloon? He'd let go of the string. George had an idea only a monkey could think of. And he knew just where the man kept his fishing pole. Meanwhile, the hot room turned Hunley's worries into a dream.
Famous British aviator Lieutenant Doxy flew to Paris for the 1909 International Air Show and Race.
Sir! Yes, sir! Descending, sir!
Daring bipedal aviator Mademoiselle Wiseman was also competing.
Oh, good to see you again, Doxy. Loser buys winner dinner, like last spring in Vienna. Oh, isn't that daring American flyboy, Chuck Monkey?
Chuck Monkey was the first pilot to fly over the North Pole. Accidentally, but he did it. Doxy worried Chuck could win this race. He'd heard it was hard to beat a monkey with a rubber band. And there was the dynamic Leaning Tower team.
Ciao, Chuck the Monkey!
And who was this new competitor?
When you're friends with scientists, you never know when you might be called for a science-y mission. Like helping chart undersea volcanoes in Hawaii. And studying the habits of tropical fish. Now, George had some time to relax.
George, can you come out and play? Huh?
This was the first time Allie had shown up for a play date in a box.
Hi, George. Hi.
But if Allie was out here, who or what was in there?
What's in the box? Oh, where'd it come from? Is it for you? Can we open it?
These were all questions that George had too. Fortunately, he knew someone who knew all the answers.
Where'd that box come from?
It was here when I got here.
No address? no return address.
Maybe it fell out of a truck.
There's one sure way to find out. No, George, wait. I didn't mean we should open it. We don't know who it's from or if it's for us. Allie's right. It might have fallen off a delivery truck. You know what? I'll call the delivery company in town and see if they know anything about it. Lost and found? I'd like to report a package I found in my yard.
Hold. A box that big? I'll bet whatever's inside is the most awesome thing ever. It could be anything.
Hi, George, Allie. What's in the box?
We don't know.
A mystery, huh?
Yeah, we aren't allowed to open it or move it. All we know is that what's inside is this tall and this wide. Hey! My goat is this tall. Maybe it's a goat.
A goat? Why would anyone mail a goat?
Mailing an elephant will be too expensive. They weigh a ton.
Allie gave George an idea. If they knew how much the box weighed, that would give them another clue about what was inside.
20 pounds.
What weighs 20 pounds that could fit in that box?
Oh, I know. 20 pounds is what a 20-pound goat weighs.
Huh?
I'll show you.
Allie's right. A 20-pound goat weighs 20 pounds. Then again, 20 pounds of anything weighs 20 pounds.
So, it could be anything.
I keep thinking a 20-pound goat.
Maybe because you've been looking at one?
If only there was a place you could see every 20-pound thing that would fit in a box that size. Then he realized there was. It was called a store. First, they needed an empty box the same size as the one at home.
Good thinking. This way we'll know if a 20-pound thing is too big or too small to fit in the box.
Luckily, the country store had everything. Pillows were the right size. But George needed to find something heavier. Weights could fit too. Definitely more than 20 pounds. All spring, George and Allie had a project. A garden. They dug holes, planted seeds, watered, and waited until a tiny sprout appeared. Before long, they were the proud parents of a healthy, growing garden. Then one day, Allie had some news.
It's all up to you now, George.
It turned out, Allie and the Rankins were going on vacation for 6 weeks. The garden was in George's hands. Every morning, he watered and pulled out the weeds so the flowers had room to grow. And then one day, flowers started blooming. George couldn't wait to send Allie a picture. Someone else was impressed with George and Allie's flowers, too. A deer. George had to be careful not to scare the deer away. The next morning, George was eager to check his garden. Flowers weren't supposed to go back into the ground, were they? His deer friend was back. It turned out that the deer liked George's flowers too much. This was horrible. George could just imagine what Allie would say. George didn't know what to do. Then at breakfast, he had an idea. Maybe if George shared his oatmeal, the deer wouldn't want to eat his garden. But the deer didn't like oatmeal. She liked flowers. It was time to call in an expert.
Looks like a deer's been eating your flowers. Yep. My mom had the same problem, but last week she built a high fence and they all went way far away. There's plenty of grass and wildflowers for them to eat. You just have to keep them out there. Hey, maybe you could build a tall fence too. A really high one they can't jump over. Let's see. To buy wood for a real deer-proof fence, we'll need exactly way more money than we've got.
So the fence was out. How else could George keep the deer away? Only one thing had kept the deer out so far.
You mean you want to stand in the garden all day?
George had built a scarecrow to keep pigeons away. Maybe he could make a scared deer. The more pins people knocked down, the more money would be donated for bobolinks. So the children were having a practice game before the tournament to get better at knocking down pins.
You see? Now you can practice with something that doesn't squish or squirt.
Oh, good. You're here.
We have to cancel the tournament.
Cancel the tournament?
We have an emergency.
Normally, I rack the children's bowling balls and Mr. Berg polishes the shoes.
But Mrs. Berg's back has been acting up, so we switched.
And now Mr. Berg's fingers are stuck. I have to drive him to the doctor's.
On account of I can't steer with bowling ball hands. Ow!
There will be no one to hand out shoes or work the concession stand.
We can do it.
We keep all the shoes over here. Oh!
Oh, let's get you to the doctor before you do any more damage.
Don't worry. We'll have things back to normal in no time. You think you can handle the shoes, George? I'll go get the popcorn started.
Mr. Berg sure had a lot of shoes. Luckily, George had a lot of hands. All the shoes were back in the cubbies.
Hiya, George.
And just in time, the children's practice round was about to start.
This is my first time bowling, but I know I'm going to be good at it, because my grandma always tells me how good I am at knocking things down around the house. Me and my team need shoes. Thanks, George.
Handing out shoes was easy.
Hey there.
Popcorn?
Oh. Is this a new flavor?
It is if you like it.
Let's make another batch. Where does Mrs. Berg keep her popcorn?
Hey, want to watch me get my first strike ever? Okay, here I go. Oops. Next time.
Something was wrong with Allie's shoes. In fact, something was wrong with all the shoes. The shoes wouldn't stay on anyone's feet. This was awful. George had to figure out what was wrong with the shoes, and quick.
Hey, George! The Sprout Bowler is reporting for duty. Huh? Wow. Good thing they gave the little kids extra time to practice. Yup, that shoe is too big for a kid. Most bowlers wear the same size bowling shoes as their street shoes. Little kids probably don't know that.
Monkeys didn't know that either. But then monkeys didn't usually wear shoes.
Size 10, size 10, and size 7. You're right, George. The size is written on the back. Good eye.
They could find the shoes quicker if the size numbers were in order. It was late summer, and everyone's garden was full of all kinds of fresh fruits and vegetables. Except George's. All he had were
cucumbers. And more cucumbers. George, next time try to plant different kinds of seeds instead of all the same kind.
Ooh.
Well, good thing I like cucumbers. Let's find some more containers. We can't leave those on the vine.
It took all the pots, bowls, hats, and a few boots, too. But they finally got all the cucumbers out of the garden and into the house.
Good job! Only, what do we do with the rest of them?
Maybe they could build cucumber houses. Or cucumber boats. Cucumber action figures.
Hi, Hi, George. I gotta feed the rabbits, and I thought maybe you'd like to... Wow, that's a lot of cucumbers. Gee, thanks, George. I do love a fresh cucumber. Cool. I bet the bunnies will like some too. Whoa, George. Rabbits do eat a lot, but they could never eat all those before they went bad. The other neighbors might want some, though. Yeah, I'm not a city kid like you, but I have my moments.
George gave cucumbers to every person he saw. He even gave cucumbers to people who weren't people. But he still had a lot of cucumbers left.
Oh, no thanks, George. I have plenty of cucumbers already. See?
Those weren't cucumbers, they were pickles.
No, really. Pickles come from cucumbers. They sure do. There's no such thing as a pickle tree, George. You ought to pickle those, too. It's easy. I'll show you. First, I boiled these cucumbers for a few minutes, then drained out the water. It's called blanching. Now, I'm ready to make my brine. That's my pickling liquid. Brine is a boiled mixture of salt, vinegar, and water. Oh, my. Well, vinegar is in a lot of salad dressings, but it's also used for pickling. It makes the cucumbers ferment. Ferment is a fancy way of saying a food changes so that it won't spoil. Oh, well, we pour the brine over the cucumbers, cover it up, and this is where it gets hard. We wait. Get comfy. Pickling whole cucumbers takes about 2 weeks.
When you know big stars, even small big stars, you sometimes get invited to private rehearsals. And you can bring your friends.
Come up and say hi if you want to.
Great show, Mr. Teckle. Amazing.
Just need to paint the ramps and we're ready for tonight.
I'd be happy to help if you like.
Me too. Anything for a fella dachshund lover.
That's right kind of you. I'll need a place to keep my dogs. Can't have paint-spattered pups.
You want to look after them, George?
Terrific! Here are their leashes if you want to take them for a walk.
We'll be back to get them before showtime tonight, okay?
wonder the dogs were so skilled. They never stopped practicing. Though some parts of the act still needed work. An apartment was no place for rehearsals. If only George knew a spot where dachshunds stayed calm and quiet. He did. The lobby. It was the perfect wiener dog habitat. But how could he keep them there? Maybe that old gate could help. Hundley was amazed. The monkey had created a wiener wonderland. The doxies had run out of water. Hundley was happy to have his guests enjoy the entire lobby. If only they would stay there. They had to get those doxies back. But first, George wanted to know how many he needed to catch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 leashes in all, which meant they had to find 8 missing dogs. But where would all those performing dogs go?
No, please, thank you, friends. I've never sold so many melons.
Hundley didn't want the doxies to run off again. What luck! It was a big crate. Even performing doxies couldn't escape from there. 1, 2, 3.